So, good morning to all. This is Dr. Vijay Lakshmi, Professor, Department of AI&DS Department. In this session, we are going to discuss about transmission media, which is an important topic under computer network subject. So, the topics which are going to be covered in this session are what is transmission media and what are the types of transmission media, namely guided media and unguided media. So, first of all, what is transmission media? So, data are going to be transmitted in the network in between nodes with the help of a medium. So, that medium is nothing but the transmission media, we call it as. And the transmission media can be either wired or wireless. So, in this slide, you can see sender side we have a node which is having the physical layer. So data is coming from the physical layer and it is traveling through the transmission medium and it is reaching the physical layer of the receiver end. The transmission medium can be either cable or that is wired or wireless. So this is how the data is being transmitted in between two nodes in the case of networks. So we can classify the transmission media into two types. One is guided, that is nothing but wired. The other one is called as unguided, that is wireless medium. The guided medium, again it is in turn classified into three types depending upon the cable type. The first one is twisted pair cable, second coaxial cable, and then fiber optic cable. And unguided, we have free space. What is guided media? Guided media refers to the physical transmission paths where data signals are transmitted along a predefined pathway. Typically, through cables include twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, and fiber optic cable. That is, a physical medium will be present. Through that only data communication takes place. The physical medium is nothing than the cable. So the cable is classified into three types: twisted pair, coaxial cable, and fiber optic cable. The first one is twisted pair cable. So here we have two cables in the form of twisted pattern. Outside we have the insulator and inside that we have the conductor. So why the twisting is happening is in order to avoid the interference in the data transmission. So in that two types are there. One is UDP and other one is STP. Unshielded twisted pair and shielded twisted pair. So the difference is in UTP we don't have a metal shield, but in the case of STP we have a metal shield, and then outside that we have a plastic cover. There are several unshielded twisted pair cables depending upon the data rate. So as per the need, the selection will be made. So the data ranges from 0.1 Mbps to 600 Mbps. So we'll be having usages from telephone to LANs. The next is a coaxial cable. So here we have the innermost conductor. So only through that the data signals are going to be transmitted. And then to cover that we have a insulators, and then outer conductor is the plastic cover is there. The third type of transmission medium is optical fiber. So as the name indicates, we are using light signals in between the fiber optic cable. So sender is transmitting the rays, and that is getting through the core and it is ending at the receiver side. Outside the core we have the cladding. So cladding is nothing but for insulation. So the propagation modes, different types of propagation modes which happens in optical fiber is one is multimode, the other one single mode. In multimode we have step index and graded index. So in multimode, step index is where the refraction index of the core is uniform while the cladding has a lower refractive index. Next, in the multimode graded index part, it is an optical fiber where the refractive index of the core gradually decreases from the center towards the cladding. Next, in the single mode, it is an optical fiber where the core has a uniform refractive index and there's a distinct step change to a lower refractive index in the surrounding cladding. So, depending upon the requirement, the mode will be chosen for transmission. The next comes the unguided media, nothing but the wireless. So, unguided media transport electromagnetic waves without using a physical connector. So, this type of communication is often referred to as wireless communication. So, here we have three types. The first one is radio waves, second microwaves, and the third one is infrared. So, as we all know, the electromagnetic spectrum for wireless communication is split into three based on the frequency. So, from 3 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz, we use it for radio wave and microwave. And from 300 gigahertz to 400 terahertz, it is used for infrared. Then above 400 to 900, it is used for light wave. And the three propagation methods are, so when it happens in the ground propagation, it will be below 2 megahertz. And if it is sky propagation, we are going to, through the sky we are going to transmit, means it will be in 2 to 30 megahertz. And if it is line of sight propagation, that is if the antennas, both antennas are in the line of sight only, the transmission will happen. So it will be about 30 megahertz. So these are the different bands, low frequency, high frequency, and the range, in what range they can communicate, and what is the propagation, either it is through ground or sky or line of sight. It depends upon the application again. The type of band will be chosen. So again, wireless transmission, it is having three wave types: radio wave, microwave, and infrared. So transmission in the case of wireless medium will be happening with the help of an antenna. So through the antenna, the waves will be propagated, electromagnetic waves will be propagated in the air. So several types of antennas are there. So this is an example for omnidirectional antenna. Omnidirectional antenna means in all the directions the propagation will be happening. The receiver, if it is present in the range, means it will receive the data. So radio waves are used for multicast communications such as radio and television and paging systems. So multicast communication means one to a particular group. So in the case of radio, it is to a particular group, or television, it is to a particular group. The transmission will be received. Another type of antenna is unidirectional antenna. Instead of in all directions, it will be focused through a particular direction. So two types are there: dish antenna and horn antenna. Then microwaves are used for unicast communications such as cellular telephones, satellite networks, and wireless LANs. Unicast means it is one-to-one communication in between two systems. Then the last one is infrared signals, can be used for short range communication in a closed area using line of sight propagation. So mainly it is used in TV remotes and all. IR signals will be used. So line of sight is needed in between the remote and TV signal. So we have come to the end of the session. So in this session we have discussed about what is transmission medium, why is it needed, and what are the types of transmission medium. Hope everyone has understood the presentation. Thank you all.